Well, good morning, everyone. How was everybody's Labor Day holiday? I'm assuming that everybody had a great time and got to enjoy their family and friends and maybe got some sunshine and some other things. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well. Just kind of getting things going here. I had a scare event here as I was logging in this morning. Restream came up and said, "You're not logged in." So I tried to log in and it said I had the wrong password. And I thought, oh no, this is like 5 minutes before we were going live. But due to my training from the great real Alex, I was able to overcome it.
Boom, boom, boom.
Exactly. All right, let's see. Good morning, Dave.
Morning, guys. What's up?
Are you on the road still?
I am not. I'm home now.
Oh, good. Okay. So we'll be able to see your handsome face the whole show.
Lucky you.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Exactly what I was thinking. Good morning, James.
Good luck with James.
Uh-oh. Why? What happened with James?
Well, you got to see his face.
I'm experiencing some technical difficulties. It's my screen is only black. I don't know how to get a background because I updated and it's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Drop out and come back in.
And you're going to have to turn on the camera, otherwise people won't be able to hear you.
Roger that, but I just don't have any backgrounds at all.
That's okay.
Close the app, come back in.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one experiencing technical difficulties. You know what? Let me drop them. There we go. Yeah, it kind of gave me a start this morning, but I thought, oh, well, we'll see what happens. Then the training kicked in. All right. Well, let's see who we have here this morning. All righty. We have Dee is here. She said, I'm on time today. Good girl. Excellent. Vicky Veronica is here. Mr. Smith. Martin's WB. Hey, Martin. Glad you can make it this morning. Rick Sr. is here. Mary Ann Thompson. Chris Romano. PJ Party Peggy is here. Cindy Hayden 59. Dana Mackey. Joy. Pure Blood Holly Johns. Laffy Rocks. Everyone's piling in. Well, good morning, Sarah Catherine. Kevin Kiesler. Brian. No squirrel yet, Brian? Wow, I'm surprised. I'm sure they're coming. Good morning, Lori Christine. Franny Dragonfly. Grand rising to you as well, Franny. All right, so we got James back in or no?
Un momento, por favor.
Let's see.
There he is.
Got him?
And we have Mega Farms Dash 2. Who's that?
What's that?
That's my tapper screen.
Oh, I was just making sure you didn't have a phony out there.
I'd like dual cameras today.
What's a tapper screen?
I'm tapping the likes right now for you.
Oh, okay. Had me going there for a minute. What's
There's
that?
James, no screen.
James, can you turn on your camera?
Trying to turn it on with a background and I can't find my backgrounds. I don't know what happened to them.
Well, you're just going to have to turn it on because nobody will be able to hear you otherwise.
Right.
Let's see. We have Soma Digital. I love USA from India over on YouTube. Welcome, Somya. I believe that's correct. Sorry if I butchered that. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Valerie James is here. Hi, Valerie. Moving forward. MHS.
There we go.
Oh, Brian said his tapping isn't working. Huh. So there must have been an update or something that happened. And there she is. Yeah. And there she is, Lisa Maria. Good morning, Lisa. Let's see. Sarah Catherine says, I can hear him. Deb M says, I can hear him. Jason Coons is here. Mama Bear. Good morning, Mama Bear. Barb. Everybody's saying that they can hear you. Okay, good. Well, camera's on now. For good, bad, or intermediate, James, you're on camera. Exactly. So your backgrounds are working now.
I updated the app because I was having troubles in the last couple lives that we were doing. Like when Dave came on late, I couldn't see him, and you said he was sitting on a porch at the cabin. I
Yeah.
couldn't see him.
Huh.
So I went ahead and updated, and it kind of changed a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
And for me to be able to figure out how to get a background, because I really didn't think that you wanted to look in my dungeon. So
Well, you just never know. Hey, Crystal Zeski's here. Hey, Crystal. And the beach chair farmer is here. And there he is, Ben G 1959. Hey, Ben. Glad you could make it. All right. Well, let's see here. Let's jump into some indices with Alex. Let's see if the app is going to let us do that or not. There we go. Good.
Good morning, ladies and germs and trolls. S&P 500 down 97 points to 6,363. Dow down 558 to 44,986. NASDAQ down 397 to 21,062. Gold up $67.20 to $3,583 per ounce. Silver up to $41.11.
It is taken off today.
Wow.
Bro, let's go. Meanwhile, my stake purchasing power is currently safe. It's like Bitcoin is made a little rally at 2%, up to 111,107. Ethereum down 1.3% to 4,309. XRP up 1% to $2.80. Cardano sitting at 81 cents. SUI 384. XLM up 1% to 36. HBAR down 1% to 21 cents. A whole lot of drops, and I would love to read them to everybody, but they're really, really long. Most of them have links to videos. The one that I could share, how might DARPA, aka GOOG, Google, play a role in spy campaign against POTUS? Think Gmail drafts, think ES resignation. It will all connect eventually.
Excellent. Thank you, Alex. And just to remind everybody, if you really want to dig deep into the drops, go over to X, follow Stormy Patriot Joe, Absolute 1776, News Treason, and Joe Rambo, and Mark Messina as well. Those guys do a fantastic job. What's that, Alex?
One other quick short one. Why did it take a political outsider to, in quotes, brackets, finally confront China?
Huh. Interesting. So over on YouTube, we have a comment, and it's from Travis Scott saying, "Do you guys support Muslims?" We support human beings. That's what we support. We support life and the pursuit of happiness. That's what we support. So I hope that answers your question. Hey, John Glynn. What's that, Alex?
I support anybody that is civil, moral, and not extreme.
Exactly. I think we can be considered extreme in some respects, but depending upon what that perspective is.
nothing wrong with being an extremist.
No props, James. No props. All right. Let's see here. John Gwynn made it. Hey, John. Glad you could make it. Let's see. Sarah Catherine. Hello. Tim Shaw 707. Sassy Minnesota girl. Sassy said it's not race versus race or religion versus religion. It's good versus evil. Good way to put it, Sass. Very good way. Good morning, Virgo 47. Glad you made it. Okay, here. So let's see. Dave, I think you are next up on the chopping block, or on the soapbox, I guess I should say.
That sounds good. Hey, I can tell you the weather in Minnesota by what James is wearing.
No kidding.
He's got a sweatshirt on again this morning.
Exactly.
Yep, and even Alex has got a sweatshirt on this morning. So, welcome in, guys, on this beautiful Tuesday. Corn is mixed across the board. Up, it was down overnight, but it's carrying a little fire this morning. Soybeans are down 8 to 15. Wheat is down 6 to 9. Cattle is up 1.9%. So get out and get your beef while you can still afford it. And hogs are up 0.4%. Kind of quiet on the home front on the farm talk, but I just want to highlight a little bit, keeping our fingers crossed for these tariffs and some better pricing on grain. American farmers are facing a severe financial crisis this year. Corn prices are down 50% since 2022, and soybeans are getting hammered now too. So, and with high inputs like fertilizer and stuff, because of multiple situations out there, getting to be a little tight in the old farming community. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. Hopefully we can kick the can down for another day here. So we'll see what happens.
The good things are coming, Dave. Hang in there.
Yep. Keeping our fingers crossed.
So, Alex, you got to see.
I saw it.
Did you?
I saw it.
Oh my goodness! The YouTube trolls are out in force. That was classic.
Hazel, if you want James's number,
Just
I
let
could
us
be
know.
bribed. I could be bribed to share it.
Whoa, what am I missing here?
Yeah, we can't say it out loud.
Oh, really?
Yeah, go to YouTube and read it. You'll see what we're saying here.
You'll hate us for it. But it's okay.
Just screenshot it, would you?
All right, here we go. James, what do we have for military report today?
Well, and I know we're going to be talking about TNT later in the show, but welcome. Hi, everybody. Glad to be here. It's finally sunny again. We had quite a bit of rain this morning on my way home traveling, probably about 1.75 inches by now. NATO defense spending will increase by more than 15%. And call.
Good timing.
Okay, yeah. Expenditures and inputs rise to about $1.6 trillion. And if you remember, not long ago, President Trump got the commitment from all but one member of NATO to give at least 10% of their GDP. And that's a huge number. So obviously, since they have it, they're going to spend it. And if your travel plans include Italy this month, you may want to rethink your trip. There are 40 labor strikes planned across Italy's transportation sector. Between air, rail, and surface, all travel will be heavily impacted. This includes the military and civilian. Significant delays and cancellations are anticipated. It's going to be a rough month for Italy.
Yeah, exactly. Great report, James, as always. Thank you.
Can I add to the military report?
Sure.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is set to announce the immediate rescission of the personal security detail and security clearance for former chair and Joint Chief of Staff, retired Army General Mark Milley.
You know, I saw you sent that, and I tried to verify that with other sources, and nobody's talking about it. That's
Buddy,
weird.
it's on the Hill, thehill.com right now.
Wow.
Yes,
That's a big
sir.
deal. That's a big deal.
Trump administration is also aiming to demote Milley in retirement. Hegseth is expected to direct Pentagon new acting inspector general to conduct a review board to see if enough evidence exists for the four-star general to be stripped of a star based on his actions to undermine the chain of command during President Trump's first term.
Excellent. Lisa our Lisa over on YouTube, though, said Pete is smoking hot. Yes, he is. Speaking of smoking hot, Lisa, you might want to reach out to Hazel on behalf of James. I'm just shooting from the hip here, but you just never know, right? AJMCSJ is here. Traveler's here. Hi, Traveler.
I got to let James in.
Jess the Mess from Tex is here. Hey, Jess, glad you could make it. Dobermom79 is here. Jessica Christabel is here as well. Oh, Niz Moore U is here. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Agape Rescues Children's here. Hi, Stacy. Hope all is well. Okay.
Stacy, let's check your texts.
Kathleen Paschke said, hi, Sam, Alex, Dave, and James. Hi, Kathleen. Oh, there we go. The Trump train from Ben. Thank you, Ben. All right, let's see. I'm still cracking up over the YouTube post for James. I think James just saw it now. Did you see it,
my
James?
God. Yes, I did.
Okay, got it.
How did you get my name involved in that?
You're the first thing that came to mind.
You're the swinging bachelor in the group, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
No, I'm a bachelor too.
It was out of love.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
You saw what she requested, and you passed to James. So
Lisa said
Anyway.
Lisa said I took a screenshot for him. I think we all did, so we could all send him to you, James. Oh my gosh. Wendy, you didn't miss it. It's something over on YouTube that we're not able to repeat on TikTok just because. But reach out to Lisa or somebody, they can send it to you. Oh my gosh, that was great.
let's just say it's pretty apparent that Hazel is in her ovulation cycle.
Exactly. That's a very politically correct way to state it, Alex. Oh my gosh. Rick Senior's all, can someone please post that later? I don't think we can, Rick. It's a little too provocative. Oh my gosh. That is too funny. Kevin Giesler is here. Hey, Kevin. Shabby Maverick from Central Minnesota as well. Oh
After
my
reading that-
gosh. Huh?
After reading that, Sam, now you know why people drink.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That was
Another
classic.
energy drink. Better get another energy drink. Keep your energy up.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's got he's got his NOS. Exactly. All right, everybody. So let's jump into the first story.
Anything that makes James blush, you don't want to see it.
Yeah, exactly. And it takes a hell of a lot to make James blush, right?
It does.
Oh my gosh, James. Thanks for being such a good sport. You have big shoulders and we use them all the time.
I think we're starting something over on YouTube. The next one is from Tina Kelly. It says, "Hey, James."
James is on a roll this morning.
That's right.
I love it.
Wow.
Oh, that is classic. Oh, look at Wendy went over to YouTube and she's asking Lisa for the screenshot. I love it. I love it. Oh, gosh. Oh, and Alex, we did get approved by YouTube this morning. Forgot
Yes,
to tell
sir.
you. So we got to remember to turn off.
Yep. Just so everybody knows, we have achieved a new level with YouTube. In that happening, that means that the dancing and the goodbye songs at the end will only be on TikTok. So we'll do our final thoughts, and then we will celebrate 100,000 likes and enjoy the rest of the show on TikTok only.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Alex. Oh my gosh, Mama Bear's laughing too. We're all laughing, Mama Bear. It is classic, absolutely classic. All right, so Israeli ministers are drawing up plans to detain Greta Thunberg in what they're calling a terrorist level condition after the Swedish activist left Spain on Sunday and the largest flotilla yet bound for Gaza. Now, I thought this Greta Thunberg, by the way, she looks like she's 100 years old. For being a teenager or 20 years old or whatever she is, she's got some hard miles on her. James, what do you make of it?
Thankfully, I didn't go take a look at what she looks like, but the aid vessel Global Samud Flotilla is bound for Gaza with food, water, and medicine, and actually had to return for bad weather to the port of Barcelona due to the storm. She is claiming this is the largest civilian maritime mission to Israel in the war so far.
Sorry, James, I'm reading the YouTube chat. Even Virgo47 went over to YouTube just so she could see what the post was. Oh, that's classic. I love it. Dave, what do you got on this Greta Thunberg deal?
Well, and that may bring, both her parents are activists and brought her and used her as a pawn way back when it says when they were talking about global climate change. So yeah, it's obviously something being brought to the front. Obviously, Israel's not a fan.
Yeah, exactly. Alex, any comment?
I mean, the girl has 16,000 high resolution photos of her at climate change protests, speaking events, and recent activities like the Freedom Flotilla to Gaza in 2024. If that to me doesn't scream narrative, I don't know what is.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, before I forget, everybody, I want to make a couple of quick announcements. Number one, I had a phone call yesterday with Dennis Fetosa. Dennis is running for Congress here in California, and he's going to be coming on the show either later this week or next week. And secondly, this is something that I have hesitated to announce only because we're not sure what account he's going to be using, but Lloyd Brunson of the Brunson case will be on the show, and it's going to be this coming Monday, a week from yesterday. Now, his original account was compromised, and he started a new account, but he's working on getting his original account back. So if he has that original account back, we're all good. We move forward with the show, and everybody's happy. If he is unsuccessful in doing that, he's got a new account that we're going to announce. As soon as I hear back from him, he's out of town until I think today or tomorrow. As soon as I hear back from him, if we have to get over to his new account and get him up to 250 followers quick. But he is going to be on a week from yesterday, this coming Monday, Lloyd Brunson. Something I'm really excited about. Okay, let's see. Lace and Steel is here. Dana Mack, yeah, I know, believe it, right. April Burge is like, wow, awesome. Virgo 47 said, damn it, I'll be at work in Florida. Well, Virgo, remember, you can always watch the replays of the lives on YouTube, X, and Rumble. And they stay on Facebook for a certain amount of time as well. But for sure, YouTube, X, and Rumble, you can watch the replay. And I think it's going to be a barn burner, or as James would like to say, a bedwetter, I'm sure. All right, so let's move on here. This next story is a big deal, in my opinion. You have President Trump coming out yesterday and truthing out a very long truth, but essentially, he said that many people think that the C19 jabs were a miracle. He said, but I want the answer. He wants to know whether or not the information from Pfizer is legitimate. Is it accurate? Is it really something that took place? Is it, as we all know and we all believe, there's no way it was a good thing. But President Trump came out and asked that question of Pfizer. Now, remember, Pfizer wanted to withhold the documentation of their results for 75 years or 25 years or 50 years or whatever it was. And they were forced to release 75,000 pages. Now, President Trump is putting a laser pointer on this whole situation. And he said, in addition to what he truthed, he also said, I hope Operation Warp Speed was as brilliant as many say it was. If not, we all want to know why and what about it isn't accurate. This is a big deal, everybody. Is this the beginning of the first domino to fall on the jabs in terms of exposure? Alex, what do you think?
This is Sparta!
Exactly.
They're about to kick Fauci off the ledge into the hole, folks. It's about to get real. I've said it, and I've said it a couple times on this show. September is going to be one for the record books.
100%. Dave?
It's coming. It's being brought to light. Obviously Trump trying to take the middle course. We'll look into it. Did it work? Did it didn't work? But it's bringing it to light. So excited to see finally.
Yep. James?
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting with all the things that are transpiring and how they're letting us in on some of this intel. And maybe some of that has to do with today at 2:00 from the White House at the Oval Office and an announcement from President Trump. Obviously, it's a mixed emotion across the board as far as was it good or was it bad. You can pull 10 people and 3 people will say it was good. The other 7 will say it's bad. The people that say it's bad obviously are people like me that did not comply. And when you see the military start bringing soldiers back that didn't take it, and you look at the FARs or the flight aviation regulations for pilots, they're not allowed to take anything experimental. So those that did actually got forced to retire.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if you look at the percentages of jet pilots that have succumbed to their final days and actually have passed on, every single one of them have been jabbed.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, baby girl is here on Lace and Steel, Sherry T. Gravitas Q. Over on YouTube, Ram5280 said, you guys should get Alex Jones on the show. Sure, he was never perfect, but usually where there's smoke, there's fire. I have a comment on that. I was actually part of the InfoWars team back in 2009 and 10. I was an info warrior. Back then, Alex Jones was on point about a lot of things. And I think he still is. I think he was, I don't want to say compromised, but I think he was put in a position, probably over his family, that he wasn't able to continue in the same vein as when he first started. But I agree. I think Alex Jones has done much more good for this movement than many of the large accounts have. And that's just my opinion. But thanks for pointing that out, Ram5280 over on YouTube.
Going back to one thing real quick that James said about 2:00 and Trump speaking, I've seen some rumblings that it's going to be an announcement with Hegseth that we're going back to the Department of War.
Well, I've heard that, and I also heard that it's going to be a move of the Space Force from where is Space Force now? From Colorado to
Colorado Springs.
Back over to someplace in Alabama. Now, no, I haven't been able to confirm any of this, but it looks like it's something that has to do with Space Force. But again, we'll have to wait and see. I'm not 100% sure.
Everybody knows Trump. It could be about how good he shot at golf over the weekend.
Exactly.
You know, it's like,
But he didn't play golf because he's deceased. I mean, have you
that's
seen
right.
That's
Exactly.
That's right. Where's he at?
This
Yeah.
weekend has been the most insane. Like, whoa, hey, thanks.
Nice.
Appreciate that. It's been the most insane, weird, like the things that take off and go nutso. Like you have to get permission from Secret Service to even post a photo, and so there's a guy posting a photo that his wife took, but all of the posts on X and everywhere else are people going, "Oh, that's AI generated." He's like, "No, my wife took the picture. We had to get permission to post it." Like, well, he's got bruises on his hands and da 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 da. He's got a blood condition. Like, calm down, okay? The fog, it's gonna kill us all.
Well, I think inherently people live in a center of fear. And when something provokes that fear or spikes that fear, they're going to react. And I give people a lot of grace because I understand what that's like. Years ago, I used to get up in arms about things and I'd scream and yell at people. And the reality is we are in a very good position. We are moving in the right direction. Lots of good things are happening. We may not see everything at this point optically, but it is my confident opinion that we are moving in the right direction. So don't let the fear mongers get to you. Alex, did you want to say something?
Yeah. He has a 2:00 press conference. Apparently the guy's still here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And, and that's another thing too, you guys. If, God forbid, something was to happen to President Trump, there are safety measures in place, not only for his protection, but for the continued move of the conservative movement in the United States, well, actually worldwide. So if optically something, God forbid, was to happen to President Trump, don't be freaked out. Q had made it very, very clear that POTUS is insulated, that nothing nefarious is going to happen to him. That doesn't mean that we won't see a narrative showing that he may have been not compromised, but injured or whatever. We just don't know. But just I would encourage everyone to live and err on the side of faith, that things are going the way that they're supposed to. And if outside of the political realm, outside of the geopolitical spectrum, it's faith. What is faith? It's defined as the assurance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I think that's a very important point to keep and close to your heart as we move forward, because who knows how the hell this is all going to play out.
Well, if I was getting paid $8,000 a month, I'd say he passed away too.
Yeah, no kidding. $8,000 a month, more like $8,000 a week. Geez, some of those guys are making crazy amounts of money. But anyway, and yes, Cindy Lou, it is important. Pray for Trump. Absolutely, absolutely. All right,
and we are accepting sponsors for the show, just so you know.
Yeah, exactly. And and I've had several new companies reach out to me. So if you do have a company or a service that you would like it to be a sponsor for the show, just send me a private message. That you have to go through a vetting process before any of that would take place, but would happily be doing that. What's that, Alex?
Oh, it's 11:30, boss. I'm keeping. That was a gentle.
Oh, geez, I didn't even see that. Okay, all right. So it's sponsorship time. Sponsors announcements. So first up, Mike Lindell. Go to mypillow.com. He still has his percale sheets on sale, and I noticed some of you did buy those last week. $28.99 or $29.88 or something like $29.88. Any size, any color. Mike has been fighting for the integrity of America for years now, at great personal cost. If you need some sheets, some pillows, a robe, whatever he offers, get it from Mike. You have the option to do it. Use the code SAM. It benefits this channel, it benefits Mike, and it benefits America. Neil Naturopathic. Dr. Julian Neal is a personal friend of mine, and he has been for years. He has developed a hair care line of products that not only destroys dandruff, causes hair to grow, but he does it with no chemicals, no additives, no preservatives. Give Dr. Neal a try. Go to neilnaturopathic.com. Use the discount code SAM20. That's SAM20. And then, of course, Dr. Peter Glidden. Dr. Glidden has built a website, that really can answer any question you have in terms of health and wellness. If you go to my website, click on the Dr. Glidden button, use the code SAM, you'll get 30% off of his membership that he's already lowered by 50%. He's basically giving it away for free. So go to Dr. Glidden, use the code SAM. And if you want his new book, there's a link on my website as well. Click on that link, use the code SAM, and you get a 10% discount on his book, which is like an encyclopedia. It's worth getting. And then, Alex, what about cybersecurity today?
RiskToolTech.com. Experience firsthand how Risk Tool software can help your organization stay on top of cybersecurity and regulation compliance easily and efficiently. RiskToolTech.com. And if I can, for just a second, Sam, I want to share a quick little educational. This is what happens when you put your company out on the internet and trolls try to set you up. So I did receive an email, and it seems as though it is a unassumingly, just an email. It has an attachment. When you open that attachment, it's telling me that there's payroll bonus, remuneration overview, September 2025. Scan that code. Well, when you scan these QR codes, it takes you to a website that looks exactly like a Microsoft login. But if you look at the URL is not Microsoft. So if I put my credentials in, I've now been compromised. So just a real world example of pay attention to the senders, pay attention to what they're sending you, because they want you to think payroll. Funny thing is, I'm the one that does payroll. So the numbnuts that sent this to me thought I was for it. So I just, real world education, be cognizant of what you're clicking on, because it might be a fishing expedition, not of the, James on the lake fishing kind.
Well, it's funny too. Oh, nice glasses. Thank you, Cody. And James, you must be taking some lessons from James with the technical terms. Numbnuts. Exactly. Hey, Vonnie Darley said I had to head over to YouTube as well. I know. Everybody wants to see what we were talking about. Oh, that's just cracking me up. All right. So let's see here. What do we have? Hey, finally, there's Brian with some squirrels in the chat. I was wondering where those squirrels were, Brian. I'm glad you finally showed up with them. All right, let's see here. So the Michigan House Republicans uncovered oh, look at James. Now that we're getting to that story, James. Michigan House. Well, actually, let's just go right to that story right now. Jerry Nadler, the Democrat from New York, will not seek re-election next year. How many other Democrats have either decided not to seek re-election or have actually withdrawn from their positions already? Dave?
Well, Jerry Nadler from New York. Oh, it's good to see. Cut one more off for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy to see it. Happy to see it.
James?
Well, after being 78 years old, and he's 5'3", just in case you're wondering about the stat. In 2018, you're going to like this, Sam, and I kind of want to see if you can explain it. In 2018, Jerry Nadler's net worth was $121,003. His net worth. How is that possible?
100 and what year?
$121,003 in 2018.
And what is it now?
They say no more than 245 in debt. So I don't think it's changed a lot.
Probably want to look at his wife's, daughter's, kids, cousins, uncles,
Exactly.
brothers, sisters.
Exactly. Offshore accounts, LLCs, who else would know? Right.
So the only thing else that I can add to this whole thing is 229 of 535 in Congress had an average net worth of at least 1 million.
Yeah, and all of that's going to be ferreted out in the very near future.
And James, I appreciate you putting up that picture of Nadler. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a prime example of what you call a dicky-do.
Exactly.
Well, you know what they say, all those people that they wear the high pants, that's from the Jerry Nadler collection.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Wendy just posted a squirrel over on YouTube. I didn't even know they had those. That's cool. All right, so let's see here. Michigan House Republicans uncovered $5 billion in budget waste, including over 4,000 unfilled, what they're calling phantom jobs, costing $560 million. It's a serious issue. This is just one example of hundreds, if not thousands, of projects that were nefarious in nature. And I personally think it's just more of the money laundering. James, what do you think?
State police, health and human services, environment, Great Lakes and energy will see tens of millions slashed. They have unveiled and passed a $54.6 billion budget. Department of Transportation, Military and Veteran Affairs, Executive Office, Legislature, and Office of the Auditor will see increased funding. So although there's a lot waste, I think DOGE is probably in on that and probably helped them identify that problem. But there again, Michigan's probably one of the more corrupt states when it comes to government.
Yeah, exactly. Dave?
Look at the governor there. This cut the savings, $560 million, is part of a larger $78.5 billion budget plan passed by the House. So it represents 3.7% reduction from the previous year. But $560 million of 43 phantom. I mean, somebody has to be cuffed and stuffed, don't they?
I'm sure it's coming. Alex?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly.
Criminal charges and penalties for money laundering violations typically fall under 18 USC 1956 and 57, which carry up to 7 years imprisonment, up to 20 years imprisonment for conspiracy to commit money laundering related to offenses, depending on the specifics, fines of up to $250,000. So looks like Nadler, according to his net worth, is probably going to go negative in all this. But forfeiture, courts may order seizure of assets. Convicted individuals are required to repay the victims. So I think that goes back into the sovereign wealth fund as we start to peel back the covers and watch the cockroaches run.
Exactly. So according to Disclosure TV, and James, we're going to go to you first on this one, the U.S. military critically depleted TNT supply due to the Ukraine war. Poland, the Pentagon's sole authorized TNT supplier, diverts nearly all output to Ukraine. Now, first of all, why do we have only one supplier of TNT? But James, can you want to expound upon that a little bit?
I sure can. It's not just the expenditure or us sending TNT to Ukraine. This original shortage became known, or it came to fruition, as we've been saying, because of C-19. It caused delays and actually downright halts. But my question is, how can we take something that we buy like TNT from Poland, but we can keep Walmarts and Home Depots and all the big box stores open, but why do we have to shut down something that has to do with our national defense? You are correct. Poland is not the only source available, but they are the #1 source for the United States and the only source. Washington has approved a new TNT plant in Kentucky, so we start to answer or address the problem. We're bringing production to the U.S. for the U.S. They're set to go online in 2028. China, Russia, South Korea, Australia, and India are all countries that make TNT. It is estimated for 2025 that 30.57 kilotons have been produced. 2026, they're going to up that to 39.101 kilotons, and that's going to be from now until 2030. This year it's a $310 million budget.
Well, and I think, TNT may be an integral part of our defense, but when you have lasers that can, within a square inch that can be shot from space, TNT isn't quite as important, in my opinion, anymore. But again, why is the question? Why is it happening?
But the result is a lot more impressive.
Yeah, no kidding.
From a defense perspective, you're right. But when you think about like where I'm at, there's an exorbitant amount of rock quarries. I mean, there's more uses of it than there are just in defense and confrontations. But this is another example of how systematically over the course of time, the U.S. has been stripped of its ability to stand independent. We've got to depend on Poland, Russia, China, other countries also produce TNT, but they're restricting it being shipped to the U.S. because of, global tensions, whatever. So, much like bringing back the steel industry and the other things, this place in Kentucky coming online to do it is just one more thing coming back to make us great and independent again and not reliant on outside forces. So I thought that was important to point out.
Yeah, very good point, Alex. Dave?
It's just important. Obviously, they want to upgrade their 155 artillery shells, but this is one thing that could slow it down by 2026. So it's interesting. It needs to be solved and bring it on back home if we can.
100%. Patriot Sherry on TikTok said treason. Yeah, well, there's a lot of that going around lately. Patriot Sherry. Hey, Joe Buckwheat 2 made it. Hey, Joe. All right, so Tom Fitton over at Judicial Watch, he said that they authorized a lawsuit to proceed to clean up the voting rolls in Oregon, California, and Illinois. Now, I met with the president, this is several years ago, of an association here in California that was suing the state of California over the voter rolls, and they were successful on their first try. The second, and I'm having a hard time remembering, the president's name was Linda, and the name of the organization it's just not coming to mind right now. But they sued the state of California. They won the first time. The second time they were having trouble. Tom Fitton jumped in with Judicial Watch to assist them, and they won the second case. Now, this is about 2 or 3 years ago. Wow, what is that? Oh, thanks, Tammy. That was cool. Yes, total squirrel moment there. Mama Bear with the squirrels and Brian, of course. I know. Anyway, I find it interesting that Tom Fitton and Judicial Watch are doing it again, and not only in California, but now Oregon and Illinois. Dave, what do you make of that?
Well, those are the hot spots, right? Those are the questions, and those are the concerned areas. Trying to bring light back to 2020, and 16, Obviously, they didn't cheat enough in 16 to win, so that's why they hammered it out in 2020 and showed their hand.
Right.
So let's get after it.
Right. James?
After looking at Tom Fitton's profile and seeing what he's done, what he's involved in, he has pretty much the same tenacity that Tom Homan does. He's taken a look at all the trouble places, and strangely enough, the very states that they're taking a close look at are the ones where they want the Democratic seats.
Yeah. And Tom Fitton's a stud too, man. That dude's got
He
some
is.
guns on him. Alex, any comment?
Well, I think they need to peel back the covers, right? Watch the roaches scatter. But someone like Captain Seth Keshel, who is a statistician retired from the military, who has been screaming from the rooftops, county by county. He went through all 3,300 counties looking at the voter registration rolls and pointing out statistically impossible entries and numbers, and none of it makes sense. And put your tinfoil hats on, folks, because we're conspiracy theorists and our pronouns are I told you so.
Yeah, exactly. Richard Pacente over on YouTube said, I'm not getting tired of winning. Neither am I, Richard, and we're just getting started, brother. All right, let's move on. Okay. So this next story is interesting. President Trump came out and said he's pleased to announce that Rudy Giuliani, the greatest mayor in the history of New York City and an equally great patriot, will receive the Presidential Medal of Honor, Presidential Medal of Freedom, excuse me. And I find it interesting, and I want to know what you guys think of this, and everybody at home too. Do you think there's a correlation between President Trump announcing this Medal of Freedom for Rudy and the fact that he was in a automobile accident the day before? Did one prompt the other? Is there something else going on here that I'm not catching on to? Let me know what everybody thinks in the chat. Meanwhile, James, what do you think?
Alex and I talked about this. I don't know if you call it a duel, but I don't believe that it was an intentional thing. It could have been. They set up pretty good TV shows, but I think I used the term asshole by a 19-year-old girl, and that was yesterday. And
you know what we're gonna have? We're gonna have to start naming these things like James-isms or something. We're gonna have to think of a name. In fact, everybody at home, start thinking of names for James's. How would I put it? Superlative vocabulary enunciations. Go ahead, James.
Interstatisms.
Interstatism. Oh, I like that. There we go.
Well,
Good job, Alex.
while he's recovering, you have to remember that after he led 9/11, he did I think a stand-up job responding to something that horrific that happened in his town. He was later sanctioned by the courts and disbarred for amplifying claims about the 2020 election, and he denies doing nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. But and he never did respond to them coming to get his belongings and his money.
Alex, any comment? Go ahead.
Not to mention he was raided and hard drives and all the things that come into question here. But specifically about the wreck, why are news stations all across the country running photos of the wreck that's actually photos of a wreck in San Diego from 2024? That doesn't make sense. Why, when they put out the news headline that he was in a crash, are they talking about how he had just stopped to help somebody with a domestic violence call, which is completely unrelated to the crash? But, oh, by the way, we're going to throw it in the story. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. And something about this crash scenario, for me personally, is not adding up. I use the interstatisms if you wish, but it may not apply here. I don't know. 24 to 48. We've given it 24, and some weird things have come to light. So let's see what happens in another 24.
You couldn't be more accurate, Alex. 100% I agree. Wendy said, I have no idea. Brian Yeager said, definitely. Tim Shaw over on TikTok said, James needs his own secret decoder ring. Isn't that the truth? Ooh, that's a nice product idea we should come up with.
On the TikTok shop.
On the TikTok shop, exactly. Paco said, my pronouns is I told you so. Yeah, you and Alex, exactly. Oh my gosh. All right. Completely lost my train of thought here. Let's see.
Next story.
Next story. So this one's going to be a little bit of a discussion here, guys. So you have Robert Mueller claiming, his family claiming that he has Parkinson's disease. How many other political figures, how many other corporate heads, how many other nefarious people, not only here in America, but around the world, are going to claim some sort of physical disability to keep from having to either testify or serve some sort of justice? Dave, what do you make of it?
You're going to see a lot of it because they've got to find some way to get out of the hole to bring forward. It's going to be an interesting month and the rest of the year for sure on what comes to light here.
Yeah, exactly. James?
Despite the fact that he may say, or the family may say he has Parkinson's, he was actually supposedly diagnosed 4 years ago with that. Just because somebody commits a crime and they come up with some sort of disease, whether it be true or false, it still doesn't make them exempt from prosecution.
Yeah, I agree. And we cannot allow them to get off the hook, even if they have some kind of, it's the same thing with Biden. He was mentally incompetent and he was supposedly the president of the United States of America. I mean, I get so freaking angry about it, I can't even speak. But
I almost heard an interstateism come out.
No, yeah, I was really careful about that. I had to catch myself. But again, you cannot allow, and I think that's part of the challenge with the truth movement and the truth community, is that we all want to see justice. We all want to see these people dealt with appropriately. And what I mean by that is typically a piece of rope, if you know what I mean, or some sort of significant, don't ever let anybody do this again because this is what's going to happen to you. And I firmly, it looks like I initially thought we're going to have high profile arrests. We're going to have all the EBS, all this other stuff. And now it's looking more like it's more of an ease into these phases of transition. I think here in the truth community, we need to see optical justice being served with these nefarious players. Now, that's just my emotional response to it. But James, what do you think?
I guess I'm going to back out of that. I think I pretty much said what I needed to say on that topic. I know Dave is just chomping at the bit to reply on that.
Let's hear it, Dave.
Well, what I was going to say is, James, doesn't it pull on your heartstrings a little bit to know that he's suffering?
Not at all. Not only no, but hell no.
But they're painted into a corner. So what do? You got to. That's the other way to go.
If they were really creative, they would have come up with something like, Alzheimer's or dementia or something like that. I find it interesting that they came up with Parkinson's, and I think I understand why they put that on it, to explain the chicken scratch of the reports that he created.
Right.
Well, and again, let's not forget, you guys, we have the whole auto pen situation that's still off in the wings. It's reported, now I don't know if this is true, it's reported that President Trump is actually going to put a picture of the auto pen up in the library or in the halls of the White House to represent Biden. Right, exactly. So if and when, I shouldn't say if, my hope is when that exposure of the auto pen takes place, then there's a whole series of things that have to happen. And because it's never happened before, we will be in a constitutional crisis. What does that mean? Alex, let's just postulate here a little bit. If in fact the auto pen comes back into the narrative and it becomes a major stumbling block for the deep state, how as Americans do we deal with a supposed president that served 4 terms illegitimately? Now, we're going into the election interference. We're talking about the auto pen. But what do you see happening when that gets exposed. Is there something I'm not seeing here?
Well,
I know it's a tough one.
let's play both sides of this. Are we not already seeing what happens in that case with a dual presidency? Not the first time in history that there were two presidents, one as a resident, one as a commander in chief. You know, when we start talking about constitutional crisis, executive overreach, definition of judicial and legislative authority, succession of legitimacy issues, like breakdown of checks and balances in our country. Well, what do we have to fall back on? And I think James would back me up on this. We have the tradition and the military code for, you know, wartime manuals and all of the things that the military traditionally has put together. If this happens, we do this. And I think that's what we have to fall back to until the balance rectifies itself. But I don't think it's just around Biden and the auto pen. Like, what happens if we go back to 2008 and we find out that legitimately there's a birth certificate in Hawaii that somebody forgot to flatten the PDF file and it's been altered, doctored, and deleted from Kenya? Like, how far back does that constitutional crisis go? How much of what has happened do we have to go back and redo? The American people, by a whole, I think, are slowly coming up to temperature to be able to accept that reality, because truth is stranger than fiction, folks. And if you follow the breadcrumbs, there's a lot of evidence to support us tinfoil hat wearing crazy mother truckers.
Exactly. James?
You know, Sam, the dragnet of this whole thing is there's a statute of limitations that we can't forget. I still
I don't
believe
think that applies when it comes to fraud, but I could be
treason
wrong.
either. Not treason either.
Yeah, I don't think that applies.
Well, that's a very good point, but I do think that the illegitimate presidency, if we were in fact under martial law and he never was president, I think that's totally erases a lot of things. But as far as somebody getting out of any kind of problem because they say I'm not feeling well, I don't buy it.
Yeah, I agree. Dave, any other comments?
No, I agree with all that.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know where we're going with it, everybody. I don't pretend to have the answers, but I think there's plenty to look at because there's some serious stuff coming down the pike. And I mean that in a good way. How we're going to deal with it from a constitutional standpoint, I don't know. But I believe that the Insurrection Act was signed and implemented in January of 2021. That changes the landscape completely. And we're going to be talking about this tomorrow about posse comitatus and some other things. But I think if in fact that did happen in January of 2021, then almost anything is up for grabs at this point.
And how we're going to deal with it, Sam, is why the National Guard is placed where they're placed.
Exactly. And President Trump did that back in his first term. Go ahead, Alex.
Right.
It goes so much. It really unravels the ball of twine, because if we do find out, well, that's going to take judicial intervention. Well, what if the judicial is corrupted? Well, now we've got a congressional response. Well, now we have evidence that Congress and money from other foreign countries has gone to Congress. That further unravels the ball. I mean, really, the governance is completely paralyzed over the country. The only option left is the military involvement. Right. And people are going to stomp their feet. You know, it's martial law and tyrant and whatever. But if you follow legally how we have structured things with the Constitution, with the Bill of Rights, with the Declaration of Independence, with military code and procedure, it's the only way out of this. It's the only way out.
And I think we're knee deep in it already.
I agree.
All right, everybody. So, all right. Oh, let me do some honorable mentions here. Benji 1959, John Gwynn, Tammy C54, Freddie Dragonfly, Sherry T Gravitas Q, Christy B78, Kevin Kiesler, Wendy, Cody, Traveler, AJM CSJ, Sarah Catherine Joy, Mama Bear, Rick Sr., Dobermom 79, Brian, The list goes on and on. Thank you all for the gifts. All right, so we're going to have a different approach here at the end of the show. And Alex, I was planning on just ending the other stream and then doing our regular ending here. Did you want to do it differently, you said?
I think maybe we do final thoughts for all platforms because that's important. I do believe that's a good portion of the show that gets driven home. After that, we can dance on TikTok.
Okay, all right. So let's go to final thoughts then, James.
Well, the one thing that we haven't really speculated is what the topic's going to be at 2:00 when the president speaks. Me personally, I hope it has to do with wealth and money and obviously XRP. Alex and I have been dueling back and forth about who's going to buy the stake. That's anybody's guess at this point. We still got.
James, it's funny you say that because on Facebook, there's been a lot of posts of people saying, what would you do if tomorrow you woke up and XRP was at over $2,000 per coin?
Hookers and cocaine.
What's that?
Stop it, sir. Behave.
What did he say?
Nothing. He didn't say anything.
James, did you do another interstatism?
Buy it on the TikTok shop.
Buy it on the. Jeez, Louis, you just never learn, James, do you? But I just found it interesting that so many people are positing that possibility. I mean, I didn't even think about it because I'm so used to seeing crypto going up in a slow manner. But what it would happen if that happened overnight, if a switch did get flipped? So who knows, James? It could happen. All right, Dave, what are your thoughts? Go ahead, James.
The one thing a lot of people speculate is when they do flip the switch, are they actually taking off what's behind the scenes and what they were warming up with and practicing with, and when they actually bring it to the retail world and not just for the big whales and the big investors? I think it's going to be an eye opener when it does happen, and that's exactly why I put my wager up with Alex.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Dave, final thoughts?
Yeah, you got to the final day of the year, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, never know what's going to happen. No, it's going to be interesting to see what he talks about. Trump's talking. Some of them are saying like the Space Command moved to Alabama from Colorado. So never know what they got planned, but exciting to see what he has to say.
So everybody in the shop at the TikTok chat is saying buy it on the TikTok shop for whatever it was that James said. But Tim Shaw 707 said James would be pulling a Charlie Sheen. So maybe I have an idea of what it is that he said. I don't know, but geez, James, you gotta watch it, dude. Alex, final thoughts?
Well, if XRP hit 10,000 a coin, I'm not going to tell anybody, but there might be signs. Just look at me.
Exactly.
That's right.
Say it every show. Time is the only thing that you can't make more of and can't buy back. So spend it wisely, and we appreciate your time, your gifts, Benji and others that donate to the show and donate to the cause. The kind conversations that happen behind the scenes and messages and phone calls, inquiry about my personal life and how my mom is. It's very appreciated. The brotherhood and camaraderie that goes on between the four individuals that you see on the screen, genuine and real. And we appreciate you guys, and gentlemen, I appreciate you. And what the hell are we laughing at?
We're not
James?
laughing at you, Alex. We're laughing at the chat because everybody's lighting up James for whatever it was he said. He's getting lit up like a Christmas tree.
But see, this is all negated.
You said, James, I am going to send your phone number to Hazel on YouTube.
Exactly.
But Squiggly 77 has it right. James will have a white wedding.
There we go. All right. Jeez Louise. We're going to have to, I guess, Jay, I think what we're going to have to do, Alex, is I think we're going to have to create a module in Risk Tool for James specifically. Something that he can train on with emails. And, I think that's the only option at this point. Exactly.
Listen of what not to say on TikTok.
Exactly.
How
Okay, everybody.
How about a 7-second delay for James?
Exactly. We're going to have to implement some kind of a time lapse for James. Okay, so everybody over on YouTube, X, Rumble, and Facebook, we're going to sign off now. I'll do my final thoughts after the it's dancing. And so thank you, everybody on X, YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble.